All right, we are now recording, and thank you everybody for showing up tonight. And first of all, we're going to do our little disclaimer. I am Prentice Wiley. I am a wealth strategist. I am not a financial advisor. Tonight's lessons is not meant to be financial advice. If you need financial advice, please contact your financial advisor or tax information. You contact your tax specialist. We are wealth strategists. We teach wealth strategy through physical assets such as silver, gold, platinum, palladium, and real estate. All right. Thank you so much. We got that out of the way. Now we're going to talk a little bit about our subject tonight. Tonight we are going to dig in and I want to play some of the videos. And I think the way that we're going to work this tonight is we're going to work with our collector certification training. And I will play a module at a time. And I think at the end of each module, so that we don't have several modules altogether, we may stop and have a short Q&A so that we can answer those, or if anybody has any comments about that particular module, we'll go into that module in depth. Okay. So this is going to be a slow process, an in-depth, and it's going to be kind of informal. All right, so give me just a moment to do a screen share. Look who's showing up late.
Well, I've been trying for 25 minutes.
Uh-oh.
It finally works for me.
That's fine. That is fine. I just had to tease you. You know I love teasing people. All right. So
Yes.
here we go. We're going to start with the wealth strategies, and we're just going to go through it one at a time. That's my friend Blake Davis. And Jerry, have you met Blake? Have you seen him yet?
I did. I met him in Shreveport last January.
Blake is one of the few people in this world that actually make me feel tall.
And yeah, and he was with Tim, so you can only imagine.
Blake is about 5'5", or maybe 5'6", if he's got his shoes on.
But he has the heart of a giant.
Oh, he does. And energy. Oh my God. That young man came out on a stage in Las Vegas last year, and there was a row of chairs uh, for people to sit in. And he came out running so fast, he'd run up to those chairs before he knew it, and he just jumped over them. I said, I used to do that when I was his age, maybe. I don't know where he gets that energy. Don't know where he gets that energy. All right, so let's start with one, and we're going to let it play.
To the 7K Collector Certificate. My name is Blake Davis, a member of the executive team here at 7K. If you're brand new with us, you'll soon find out that what we're going to talk about is what we love most about 7K membership. All the benefits you'll find here are going to add value to your life in some way. But the beautifully crafted collector coins that carry some sort of story with them never get old. In fact, we're seeing more brand new collectors, maybe like yourself, that are asking how they can get more fiat currency every month so they can convert it into high-end collectibles. If you've already gone through the buyer certification, you've learned about the different asset types of gold and silver and their possible uses, such as bullion, rounds, and bars. Graded collectibles were often mentioned in the buyer certification, but we want to take some time to dig deeper into what they are, why they have value, and why you might want to add them to your asset portfolio. But before we get started, just know that nothing you hear as we go over gold and silver collectibles today is meant to be financial advice. We're going to leave that to licensed professionals where applicable. Also, just be aware that we'll be talking about a lot of generalities today. Keep in mind that we're talking about an asset class in collectible gold and silver. Just like any other asset class, there are some types of purchases that are better than others in terms of financial gain or return. Just because a coin is made of gold or silver and is collectible, it doesn't mean it will automatically be worth more being paid for. Stacking this asset like any other requires good judgment, restraint, and personal responsibility for what you're purchasing. That being said, many people buy collectible coins for many different reasons and not just for the possible return on the purchase. We just recommend that you have clear reasons for buying and strive to make purchases that are in line with those values.
All right. So, any questions on what we just heard him say? And I'll just reiterate what he said about the guarantees. There's no guarantees that collectibles will earn you money, just like any other collectible thing. You know, supply and demand and public desire is what drives the market with any collectible asset, whether it be baseball cards or collectible cars or collectible coins or fine art. All of that is driven by the market of supply and demand and desire. So I always put that in desire. It's got to be something that's desirable. Uh, One thing that we have seen in the past and historically looking back is things that were trendy. Sometimes that adds additional value to collectibles. Uh, who would have thought when we were kids growing up that a particular comic book person's lunchbox as a kid, because it was trendy, you know, uh, the other day I seen a Barbie lunchbox, and the parent that bought that for their kid probably paid $2, $3 for it. But that thing was selling for like $8,000. See, so you don't know what that collectible is going to sell for. Uh, we know that historically we can look back and we can get kind of an idea of what drives that market and make the best decision that we can within ourselves. Now, one of my favorite things to do is historical coins. I love historical coins that tell stories. To me, that is my spin on thinking that those are coins that are going to gain the most value for me. And I have been fortunate enough that a lot of those have done that just for that sake. Another thing that you'll hear talked about in some of this is its rarity, the mintage, how many of them there is. Uh, Again, supply and demand affects it. Low supply or low mintage, not many of them. If a large amount of people want them, the price will go up. So those are just things to keep in mind. Any questions? All right, let's look at the reasons for collecting.
Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's dive into some reasons why newcomers of 7K are excited to start building your legacy with collectibles. Pay attention to these reasons so you know what to expect as you identify why you are interested in stacking collectible assets. Reason one is all about saving real money and leaving a legacy. This is the most common reason for stacking new collectible assets among our current 7K family. This is definitely one of our favorite reasons for buying. Does it resonate with you? Many of us here have the same goal. It feels good to know that we can sell some coins in the future if we get a pinch, but thinking of selling a coin today seriously puts a knot in our stomach because we've not only grown to love the coins, but we have also come to love what they represent. A little more financial peace and a lot more hope. If this is you, congratulations, we can't wait to help you on your journey. Reason number two that we often see among new customers for purchasing collectibles is to flip them for a quick ROI. Okay, we're going to be careful here. Although we're very pleased and grateful that this is an opportunity that exists here at 7K, we just want you to be aware that this is a game that is a little risky. It can provide a great extra income in the near term if you're buying the right items, but can also be very frustrating if you buy coins that don't increase in value as fast as you expect. History says that most coins with low mintages and unique designs will naturally increase over time, but finding the quick hitters can be a difficult task. If this is the game you want to play, we just recommend you study the market well and also keep a long-term perspective. The third reason we often see is that someone else said it was a good idea, and you trust them. If this is you, We appreciate the trust that you have for the person that told you that stacking collectibles is a good idea. We agree, but we also recommend that you make sure to do enough research to become an educated buyer yourself. We strongly believe in personal responsibility and helping people take control of their future here at 7K. We believe that stacking collectible assets is one of the many great ways to start doing that, but you need to believe it too. This training should help you understand more about the difference between regular gold and silver and collectible gold and silver, which is going to be a great start for you. We know that as you dive in here, you'll gain the confidence you need to start stacking like a pro. And lastly, maybe you're unsure about purchasing collectibles and you just need to figure it out. It's okay. Seriously, it's super normal. In fact, we appreciate that you're even here with us and trust us enough to help you explore your goals with you. As you go through this training and learn more about gold and silver collectible assets, just jot down some notes on possible ways that this particular game could help you in your life. Security from a financial dilemma, creating a legacy for future generations, or are you interested in the stories told via the coins? Like we've talked about already, there's lots of reasons why members of 7K stack these assets, and we're confident that you're going to find yours. Okay, let's dig in.
All right, so any questions on that little section? Blake does such a great job, doesn't he? Did you catch the part where he was talking about the people that do this? Some people do it for a quick ROI. Okay, so he did a little bit of acronym there to people that's not working in the business world may not quite catch. ROI is return on income. That's what it stands for. Working in the corporate world, that was one of the acronyms that I used daily and weekly. There's two of them, KPI and ROI. KPI means key performance index, and ROI means return on income. So an example of that would be if I bought a coin expecting to turn around and sell it within a week or two to make a profit. That is a quick ROI. Okay. Now, have I bought coins that would do that? Yes, I have. Was I anticipating it being that quick? No, I didn't. Did I sell them just because I could have and made that quick ROI? No, I still have them. So, it's personal responsibility. Like he said, it's up to you. That is something I really love about this company is that we believe in personal accountability. You are accountable for yourself. Okay. So many companies like this are companies that deal in physical assets. They want to take control. They want to drive. They want to be in the driver's seat. But with 7K, we give all the control to the members, which I think is a wonderful thing. Okay. Well, doesn't want to play for me. There he comes.
All right, so let's tackle some of the important things you should know, starting with some technical terms you may hear when dealing with coins. First is the word obverse. That just refers to the front of the coin. You'll also hear the word reverse. That just refers to the back of the coin. Another word you will hear often is relief. That just refers to the parts of the coin that appear to be above the face of the coin. Relief can give coins an incredible amount of depth and detail, making them seriously true works of art. One of the other words you'll often hear when dealing with graded collector coins is numismatic. Numismatic deals in the study of collector coins, tokens, and paper money. Graded collector coins are often referred to as numismatic coins. Again, the obverse is the front of the coin. The reverse is the back of the coin. The relief is the part of the coin that appears above its face. And oftentimes you will hear the word numismatic when dealing with collector coins. A graded collectible coin is often referred to as numismatic.
All right. So how many learned something new with that one? There you go. See, coins don't have heads and tails. Excuse me, I apologize. Those are nicknames. They have an obverse and a reverse. Pretty cool, right? So those are all terms that we use with collectible coins. Now, he didn't go into the details on the relief. There are 3 reliefs. There is a standard relief, which is what you'll see on most coins. Coins like maybe this 50-cent piece or quarter. I don't have any collectibles here on my desk, but the next is called a high release. And then we have an ultra high release. Ultra high release coins are usually coins that I think gain value more than highs or standards. Now, why is that? Is because they're extremely hard to make. I watched a training video about 3 years ago through 7K at one of the events to where they went into a mint, I forget what country it was in, and they showed how they were stacking those coins. And I found out during that training that the higher the relief, the easier it is for that mold when it presses. It comes down and stamps that thing and puts it under extreme pressure. I forget how many thousands of foot-pounds that it places on it. It's easy for it to fracture or break off that relief because it's so high. So ultra high reliefs are very hard to make. And for that reason, you will normally see ultra high relief coins in extremely low mintage. For example, at Michelangelo's King David, I got it. It looks almost like a sculpture rising off the face of that coin. And there's only 500 of those in existence. Some of them I seen the other day. One of them I seen there's only 300 of them in existence. So, those coins, because of their rarity, I feel confident when I'm making my selection, that's the type that I would choose. Now, you're going to be choosing for whatever your purpose is, but that's the type of coins I would choose. Any questions? Okay, now we're going to talk about mintage and population.
Now that you know what a graded coin is, what the grades are, why they tend to carry more value over time, and why labels matter, let's look at what mintage means and the difference between mintage and a population. Remember from the buyer certification that a coin is backed or sponsored by a country and is actually legal tender. When you see the mintage of any coin, it means that the country of issue or the country that sponsored the coin puts it legally on their record that only the amount of specified coins can be made. For example, when you see a mintage of 50,000 on coin, it means that only 50,000 coins can legally be made and no more. Keep in mind that it doesn't mean that the coins have to be made, only that no more than that amount can be made. Sometimes there are really great coins that we come across and only a very small percentage of the mintage was actually produced, making the coin even more unique and more rare in the market. Once a mintage is decided and submitted to a country, it cannot be retroactively changed. But if the mintage is not fully made, the producer of the coin can retroactively produce the remaining coins in the mintage with the original year or issue if they choose. So when you see a mintage on something, remember that no more than that number of coins can legally exist in the market. Okay, before we move on to population, let's recap mintage really quickly. So when a mintage is set with the backing or sponsor country, the producer of the coin can never make more than the set mintage. But remember, if a producer of a specific coin sets a mintage with a sponsor country, let's say 5,000 in this example, but only decides to produce 2,500 for the first run of the coin, they can go back later and produce the remaining number of coins up to the max mintage of 5,000, assuming the mint is still willing to rerun the project. So what does population do? Population comes into play after a mintage of a coin is set, produced, and graded. The number of coins that come out as a specific grade, MS70 for example, make up the population. Keep in mind that these coins have to carry the same label to be counted in the same population also. So when you take an already unique and limited coin with the mintage of 500, 1,000, or even 10,000, even 50,000, and send them to be graded, and only a certain percentage grade out to perfection, think about how much more valuable that subset or population of that coin could be. Keep in mind that populations can change over time also, but it can obviously never exceed the mintage of the coin. There are times when coins are spread out across different dealers in the market, and many of the coins do not get sent to NGC or PCGS to be graded right now, or ever for that matter. But over time, if people decide to send their coins in, or dealers decide to get a certain coin graded after a significant amount of time after it was released, the population of that coin could increase as more coins are graded. The reality is that most coins in the market today are never sent to be graded, which presents an incredible window of opportunity for you to stack as many of these unique graded assets as you can while there's a clear market advantage. The great thing about grading coins is that if all of the coins in the world were sent for grading, most just wouldn't make the perfect cut anyway. That presents a very good opportunity to keep building your legacy with these incredibly cool and rare graded gems.
All right, was that one, did somebody get lost on that one? That one's kind of hard to follow. Okay. Now, the difference between mintage and population, I had a discussion with someone one time that was really having trouble wrapping their mind around that. Okay, so I substituted another word in there that actually helped them to comprehend that. Say population and demographics. That would equate to mintage and population. Same thing. Okay, so your mintage would be like the whole population of your city. The demographics would break it out into the ethnic groups within that city. That would be Hispanics, white, black, whatever the demographics were. Okay. So basically the coins, you're looking at the same thing, except they just label them slightly different. Population is all of the coins that can be made, that whole 5,000, right? But then when you break it out into its categories, I'm sorry, the mintage is all of them together. The mintage would be, say, if they had 5,000 of them made, it would be 5,000. But the population would be each one of those subgroups. It'd be like out of the 5,000, they may have 1,500 MS70s and maybe 2,500 MS69s and so forth and so on. So that's your breakout categories. And again, like you said, the mint does not have to make all of them. Now, can they? Yes. They can retroactively go back and make the remaining amount. Like his example, 5,000 of them, he can make 2,500 of them now, and 2 years later, he could make the other 2,500. That would give him the 5,000 of the mint. But again, there has to be an agreement between the mint and the government that's producing it for that to happen. The mint can't just choose to do it on their own. They have to have approval. And one thing that he did not quite bring into perspective, he said they can make no more. But he didn't go as far to tell you the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey says, is that those dies, those presses that makes that particular coin. Once they've made that 5,000th coin, if the mintage was to be 5,000, under international law, they must destroy them. They can no longer keep them. They must be broken and destroyed. That guarantees that there can never be counterfeits of them. Okay? So that leaves us with 3 more, and I think we'll probably pick up on those on our next week's lesson, and we'll go into them. And I really want to take some time when we get to this number 8, because number 8 is going to be extremely dear to my heart, because I knew Miles personally, and we've lost Miles. He's no longer with us. He's no longer alive. If y'all have the opportunity to ever get any of his books, they will be extremely beneficial in truly understanding. And I think they're a perfect guide to help you gain the knowledge it would take to choose some collectible coins that is probably going to give you that long-term legacy that you're doing. So often it's said, and you hear it over and over, that your collectible coins is your offensive strategy. It's not designed to be your quick turnaround. If you're wanting to just secure yourself, secure your assets, go with your bullion. And the way that we break them out is totally entirely up to you. My personal preference is I use the 40, 30, 10, 20 rule. Y'all have heard me talk about that, but that is my preference. You can tweak any way that you want to. It depends on your life station, your life circumstances, and your end goals. And with those 3 things in mind, then you make an educated decision. This is how I'm going to do it. For example, I'm 73. So I may not be looking at the real long term, because if nature follows its course, I've got a lot less runway at the end of at the end of this takeoff than I did when I was, 23, right? So long-term goals, way out in the future, may not be as important to me as my short-term goals. So instead of 40, 30, 10, 20, I may want to go 50 and then drop my 30 by 10%, and then do my 10%. See, so my long term, I could tweak it by dropping it, because I may have more immediate needs at my age. As to someone like Eve, which Eve, you're fairly young, you may want to look at it in the opposite direction. I've got a lot of life left. So instead of 40, 30, you might want to do, 30, 40. So you could up your amount of collectibles. That is entirely your decision. That's the most important part. It's entirely your decision. You look at your life circumstances and decide which one you want to do. But I do believe that you must have an offensive strategy. You need to diversify. No sports team has ever won playing defense alone. Unless you can get the ball over the goal line or through the hoop, you're not going to win the game. So you've got to have an offense, right? Any questions at this point? You ladies are quiet tonight. Y'all were talkative before that recording came on, right? So I'm going to stop the screen share. And we will stop the recording. And again, we thank everybody for joining us tonight. And I'm saying that on behalf of the recording. So you ladies are welcome to stay around for just a few moments, and we'll just have a little question and answer. Stopping the recording now.